If you're using AI here to do research, then you definitely need to check out this video, because in this video, we're going to take the idea that Karpathy has wrote on LLM Wiki and turn that into an automation workflow where we can be able to take any data sources that we have, YouTube, Gmail, Slack, whatever data source that we have, and convert them into a raw folder. And following what Karpathy wrote on converting the raw folder here into a wiki folder, or we can use AI here to do research, we're going to do this entire process here in a workflow that can be done automatically on a schedule. And after that's done, you can see after we have our wiki, we can have our large language model here to query those information, or even better, we can be able to view all those information here inside our Obsidian where we have our raw folder and also our wiki folder. And this is all done using a single skill that I created, which is called Wiki, which wraps everything that Karpathy has mentioned into a single skill and help us to build this entire automations. And that's why in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire tutorial on how you can set this up on your local machine for the skill, and eventually how we can be able to trigger the workflows and be able to see the real data here coming in into your Obsidian and be able to view the entire data. So with that being said, if that sounds interesting, let's get into the video. Now, before we continue, I recently launched our school community where I help you to master AI agents, automations, and so much more. And that's all coming from someone who used to work as a senior AI software engineer at companies like Amazon and Microsoft. And in this community, you're going to get over 100 plus video materials like templates and workflows that I personally built and sold over 100 plus times. On top of that, you're also going to get access to our weekly live calls. And just to give you an idea, this week, we're actually running a Claude Code masterclass where we're going to dive into how to improve Claude Code's accuracy when we're going to use it to building applications. Plus, you're also going to get full community supports where you're going to get a chance to ask questions and get direct answers back. So if you're ready to level up, make sure you jump right in and I'll see you in a community. All right, so to get started, here you can see we have a YT research folder. And this folder you can see is an empty folder here. It has nothing, no raw folder, no wiki folder yet. We're just going to build this everything from scratch. So the only thing that I have here is the skill called Wiki, which I'll make sure to put this Wiki skill inside of the description below so that you can download it and use it inside of your own project. And the other thing that I have in this repository here you can see is the git ignore, which I have already set up the git tracking for this project, which you can see here. And the reason why we want to set up a git repository here is because we want to keep track of the past changes. So here you can see if I were to click on this, I can see the past commits, the past changes that we made on this notebook or this project. And if I want to revert back to specific changes, I can do so. So if you're interested for me to make a full dedicated Git video tutorial, then you can comment down below, like this video, and I'll make sure to plan that in the near future. And essentially what we're trying to do for this project here is using this wiki skill and try to scaffold the entire wiki, the raw folder, like what Karpathy has mentioned in his lmwiki.md file. And furthermore, what this skill can actually help us to do is to look through different sources. It's going to help us to build this entire research engine, this entire workflow that we don't have to prompt it every single time. You can see your research sources, right? It could be from YouTube, Gmail, Slack, any meeting notes, or any online sources. We can be able to select those data sources that we want. And what's going to happen here is going to use a sub agent here to run in the background to basically try to run on a schedule. It could be in the cloud, desktop, or on a loop, and try to pull information from the last 24 hours for new content. Let's say you want to pull information from my channel or different creators on YouTube or different articles from online. And you can use this approach and try to pull the latest information, and it's going to download it onto the raw folder. And then it's going to go through this workflow here to using large language model here to ingest those information into a curated folder called Wiki, which contains the entire summary of the entire raw folder that we have. And we can use large language model here to ask any questions for the curated Wiki articles. So that's exactly how this works. And you can see here that Karpathy here just giving us the path on exactly how it works with LLM Wiki. And what I'm giving you here is automation workflow that you can pull in those informations from different data sources and eventually try to use LLM here to convert that into a curated articles in a wiki folder that we can further on and try to do research and ask questions about it. So here you can see that's exactly the workflow I'm going to share with you today. So in that case, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open a new Claude Code session here in my terminal. And simply all we had to do here is just going to do the /wiki, which is a skill that we're going to help us to set up the entire repository for the LLM Wiki. So if I were to run this, you can see this is the skill, right? It's triggering that. And now you can see it has detected that there's no raw folder yet. So it's going to start in the phase 1, which is setting up the entire projects with the right folders. So now if we were to scroll all the way down, you can see that it's going to ask you a question on how far do you want to go right now. So we can go with the full build, which is recommended, which will interview you, scaffolding the project, walk you through the first agents that can help you to pull data sources, schedule it, and so much more. So this is going to be everything that we have went through in the diagram, and we're just going to go with that approach. So in this case, I'm going to click on enter, and then you can see it's going to move on to phase 2, which is initializing our project. So once we initialize it, you can now see it's going to go through to phase 3, which is try to do interviewing, try to clarifying our topic, our niche. So you can see here, this is what we have done. And this is phase 3, which is the interview. 6 questions, one at a time. And here you can see the first question that we have is a topic. So in this case, I'm going to give my topic, my niche, and provide my answer, and just going to click on enter. So right here, you can see in terms of scope, we can be able to organize it into a few buckets or few directories, few subfolders that we have. For example, things like I want to have a folder for trending, competitors, my channels, but your case could be very different. Okay, your case could be like researching papers or like researching different sources from different authors. You can also do that. So in this case, I'm going to provide my answer and click on enter. So here you can see we have our next one, which are our sources. So in this case, who are the sources that we're going to fetch information from? And here I'm just going to provide my data, and I'm just going to click on enter and proceed forward to next step. And then the next step we have here is basically the page types. So what are some pages that we can add here? For example, our channel pages, our video pages, our trend pages, all kinds of pages that we can have to have an overview of all the wiki subfolders that we have, right? So yours could be different, but I'm just going to provide my answer and just going to continue forward from here. And eventually here you can see it's going to create a file structure just like this, which have the YT research on the top. You can see this is the root folder. And then here you can see we have our .env file, .mcp for the vidIQ. And then we have a raw folder, which contains our competitors, what is the trending stuff, what is my channel stuff. These are all raw, right? Once we have the raw folder, raw files, then we also have a wiki, which contains a summarization of the raw folder. So things like the competitors, okay, so for per channel, we have a page, and for each videos, right, you can see we have an outlier, which will have a deep dive in that. And then we also have my channel overview, and also each videos is inside of the videos folder. And then we also have a trending folder, which contains topics, the formats, recurring video formats, the synthesize, which contains the weekly outlier digest, which is like, okay, what is trending this week, right? Weekly trending stuff. We also have our index, our logs, which keep track of everything that we have inside of those wiki folder, which is all the folder that we have. Log is like what's happening, like what have we done so far. Like each time there's every action is going to log it inside the log.md file. And then furthermore, you can see we have our Claude.md file, which is our system prompt that we tell Claude exactly what to do at every time when it, start a new context window, right? So you can see that's the structure of the folder. And if everything looks good, I'm just going to say yes, approve, and it's going to start to execute the plan. Okay, so now you can see this is the final structure of what it looks like after it has built complete. So we have our skill, we have our raw folder, and we also have our wiki folder, right? So our raw folder contains our competitors and my channel data, and is going to ingest that into our wiki, right? Summarize everything from our channel information, competitors, what's trending, what we can synthesize from the information that we have, index it, and also our log. And here you can see we also have our two farmers right now. One is pulling from our competitor information, which we have 57 channels from YouTube that I watch for. And we're just going to split it into 4 batch and dispatch them into 4 parallel subagent here to fetch those information using the vidIQ MCP servers. And furthermore, you can see we're also using the my channel farmer here, which will just look through my own channel information by itself. And here you can see how a manual trigger works end to end. Let's say if we want to trigger this manually to test it out, is let's say if we were to open a fresh context window, all we have to do here, just type in the /wiki farm, for example, my channel, and it's going to invoke the wiki skill here to farm my own channel. And the other step, you can see step 2 here, is what happened inside of the wiki skill is going to have different subagent here to spin up. And the subagent here is going to follow its own MD file, checks the vidIQ balance, and dispatching different agent here to process it. And eventually here is going to write the rank JSON file, right? All those files that we have is going to process that inside of a raw folder. And then eventually the skill here is going to run the ingest by itself and read through the new raw files and be able to ingest that into the wiki folder that we have. So that's exactly how this works. And you can see here that we have a hook here that auto commits. So anytime we make a changes, it's going to automatically commit this onto our GitHub. So here you can see this is all the triggers we can do. We can do this for our own channels. We can also do this for my own competitors, as well as we can do this for all of them, right? Both farmers here, competitors, and my channels. Or we can also specify the days, like, okay, I want to do this for the last 30 days, right? Or so on and so forth. You can also manually trigger the ingest, lint, be able to run a wiki health check to see if there's anything that's breaking, if there's any notes we should delete, right? So you can see that's exactly how this works. So you can see, following by this approach, following the skill, we can be able to have this to follow exactly what Karpathy has mentioned to create this. But not only that, having an automation workflow that will automatically pull those information, right? Now, obviously, because I haven't set up the scheduler, which you can see at the bottom here, there's no cron job has set up yet. I'm just going to show you a workflow, right? To show you exactly how you can manually trigger this. But you can also be able to make this workflow here to trigger this maybe on a schedule every single day, every weekly, so forth, so on and so forth. Okay. So in this case, to trigger this, all I had to do here is just going to come over to the folder, or in this case, a terminal session. But before I do so, I'm just going to show you exactly what we have. So in our raw folder here, you can see we have no competitor information right now, and we have no channel information. And for wiki right now, we have nothing, right? So basically the competitors, we only have the list of YouTube channels that I watch for, and we are basically going to fetch those information into raw. And I'm just going to open a new Claude Code session. And the particular commands that we're going to run is Wiki Farm my channel. So it's going to fetch everything that we have in my current channel. But also I want to trigger for the competitor farmers. And you can see here that I have cut that session and have also reset a new session here and just run the wiki /farm. And this will basically just run all the competitors or all the farmers that we have, right? Pulling the competitors information and my channel information into one single session. So in this case, I'm going to wait for a bit until it fully processes, and then we're going to see what the end result look like. But before we do it, let me get into the sponsor of this video, Databox.
Every week, someone on the team has to answer the same question. Are our numbers actually getting better, or are we just looking at more reports? Because the data is usually there. Website traffic is in one tool, ads are in another, CRM data is somewhere else, revenue has its own dashboard, and by the time everything is pulled together, the team is already asking what changed and what to do next. That is where Databox fits in. Databox is an AI-powered analytics platform for bringing business performance data into one place, building KPI dashboards, tracking goals, creating reports, and using Genie, Databox's AI analyst, to ask plain English questions about the numbers. This is where the stack comes together: marketing, sales, spreadsheets, CRM, and other reporting tools. Pipeline, revenue, conversion rate, or whichever metrics match the demo. The point is not just seeing charts. The point is turning performance into something the team can review and act on. Then I would open Genie and ask a real business question. That is the key moment. Databox should not feel like another static dashboard. It should feel like a performance layer where the team can centralize metrics, understand what changed, and move from data to decisions faster. So if you are building an AI-powered business dashboard for a SaaS team, agency, or growth workflow, Databox is worth checking out. There is a 14-day free trial with no credit card required. And if you want to see how it fits your business, use the link below to book a demo.
Okay, so finally you can see it took about 30 minutes here to be fully completed. So if I were to head over to our Obsidian really quickly, you can see that we have all the data here is loaded here. And if I want to click on the graph, I can also see the entire graph, which is here, right? So if we were to look at the wiki here, you can see what we have is our index, which is, basically what we have for the wiki folder, right? Our synthesis, and also our trending topics, our competitors, all the competitors that we have, and all the outliers, right? So what are the top performing videos in this period of time? And also my videos that happens, right? So these are all the things that we have concluded. So if I were to look at the sample size, for example, for the heat radar from today, and here you can see this is the top 10 by heat, and here is the heat score, the takeaways, and you can see this is the sorted by the multipliers and also sorted by the views, as well as like sort by the view per hour, right? There's a lot of things we can learn from here. And you can see there's an entire process here, right? From pulling those data sources and be able to convert that into wiki is all done automatically using the skill. If you want to run this on a schedule, it's really simple. You just prompt it. I want to run this on a schedule and I want to process this every single week on Monday at 2 a.m. for example. I'm just going to give it a prompt. And now you can see it triggers the remote trigger and it basically creates the routines here created, which both the routine, which is pulling the competitor data and also my channel farmer data, right? So two data sources. and try to run it on a schedule. And you can see this is the routine that we have created in Claude. You can see essentially it's going to trigger this weekly, Monday at 2 a.m. And the vidIQ here is not connected on Claude here. So what we need to do here is we're just going to head over to Claude, which is this link right here, and simply just going to connect in our MCP that can fetch real data from YouTube, right? So that's exactly how you can do it. And of course, if you want to, cancel it, you can say, hey, I want to cancel this routine, or I want to cancel this schedule job. Can you do that, please? And it will automatically help you to cancel it or reschedule it for you just by simply prompting it. So you can see it has updated, it has deleted routine through the API, and it only disabled them, right? So now you can see it's full deleted, and you can see we can do a lot of things with this. And of course, if you're looking to get the full skill for LLM Wiki, make sure to check out in the link in the description below for our school community where you can download it in full. And of course, if you're looking to see the full workflow on how I was able to pull third-party app data like Google Workspace, you can check out this video right here for Obsidian plus Claude Code, the second brain that I did on a month ago, where I was able to build using Obsidian here to create a custom CRM data where I keep track of all the clients data that I have for all the projects that I work with simultaneously. So if you're interested for that, make sure to check out this video right here where you can be able to click it and view that video directly. So with that being said, if you do find this video, please make sure to like this video, consider subscribing more content like this. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.